All right, what's going on? I want to talk about a few things. A lot of people feel entitled. A lot of people feel like they can skip steps. Let's talk about what most women are out here looking for. Whether a woman today has the means to take care of themselves or not, they're generally looking for the same thing. They're looking for a man to take care of them. Now, if perverted, it can be a gold digger. If not perverted, she can accomplish that by following the proper steps. Women, if you are going to get a man to take care of you, you must earn and secure your place so that he can take care of you. How's that? Yes, it is appropriate for a man to take care of his woman. The key operative word is his woman. And some of you will go to the extremes of not knowing a man and establishing yourself as his woman. Well, that's not true. If we just met today and you somehow know that in order for me to take care of you, you have to be my girl, and you start filling my head with, I'm your girl, or I want to be your girl. It's not possible, nor is it feasible for me as a man to make you my girl the same day I meet you, and you as a girl to be my man the same day you meet me. And the perks and the benefits that you get should not come on the first day. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to start setting your expectations a little bit different and stop being unreasonable, thinking that a man is supposed to do those things that he would do for his girl with you. Think about that. If you can get out of a man like a simp or a trick, if you can get out of a man what you think you ought to get from a man without having to give or get him anything, then there is no point in you being with him. And there's no point in him trying to be with you. Because if you can get everything that you want out of him without having to give him anything or secure what he's trying to secure, then it's not going to work. How unrealistic would it be to go to the store, buy whatever it is that you pick up, whatever it is you're going to pick up, and walk past the cash register? That's stealing, and you can go to jail. Well, how do you think it feels when you get everything that you want from a man and you haven't given him anything that he wants from you? And it's not wrong for you wanting what you want from a man per se, but it's not per se anything wrong with a man wanting what he wants from you. If you want something, if you want a man to spend, you see a man and he look like he got a little money on him, he got a little thing going for him, and you want him to be able to take you out to dinner and, well, not dinner, but I'll touch on that later. But if you want him to take you shopping, if you want him to buy you this, buy you that, and you want him to do those monetary things for you, and he has not secured what he wants from you, then why would he do? I mean, why would he? Why would he do that? That's like letting you walk out of his store with his stuff. That's like you coming over to his house and getting all of the sugar and butter and whatever the case may be you need, and then you leaving out of there. Now, some of you want to play credit system. You want a man to give you everything that you want up front, and then maybe you'll give him what he wants on the back end. So what secures that? If I am in a if I am in the middle of a negotiation and I'm trying to get a contract, okay, I need some sort of security to make sure that when I render the services that you're looking for, that I get paid. When you drive in an Uber, you go up there on your phone, you set up your account, and you set up your credit card, your debit card, or whatever the case may be. Okay. When you're looking for Uber to come pick you up, they already have your credit card information up there. Otherwise, they wouldn't allow you to even order an Uber. Why? It's because they want to make sure that they secure payment. And they do it in such a way so they don't have to ask for the payment to be secured because it's already secured in the setup. So look, if it's the type of arrangement where a man takes you out and do this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be, and he wants to do that for you, and he wants, let's just say he wants intimacy with you. He wants physical intimacy with you. And that's what he wants. You have the option to say, I'm not interested. No, thank you. And he must respect that. But on the flip side, if you want to if you want him to trick off on you and you want him to buy you clothes and shoes and this, that, and the other, or whatever the case may be, and he says, I don't want to, then you have to respect that. But if you get further into negotiations and that's the path that you take, although I don't think that's a path you should take, there's a better way to do that, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But if you go to him and you say, hey, look, I want you to take me shopping, you're being bold and you're asking him to do something that he should do for somebody that he has secured as his. He should do that for somebody that's his girl, somebody who has loyalty to him, somebody that's going to benefit him with companionship and help. That's the way to go about doing it. But if you want to skip that step and you don't want to be his companion and you don't want to be his helpmate, and it's you're purely making it transactional, because when you start asking somebody you don't know for something, it is transactional. See, because if I knew you as a woman and we were cool and I sensed that you were there for me or you were there to help me or you were there to be my companion, in turn, you more than likely wouldn't have to ask me for anything. You would have created the vibe to make me want to do some things for you. And some of you are cunning. You go, oh, I'm going through this and I'm going through that, and I need something to pay my bills. You know how much of a turn off it is for a man when he meets a woman and she starts singing nobody knows the troubles I've seen. Even if it's true, even if you're convincing, it's not the time for it. That's something to keep to yourself, because whether you're playing games or you really got problems, by putting that on Front Street, you are making the relationship between you and that man transactional. And a man is not, with any right mind, he is not going to acquiesce to giving you what you want without getting what he wants. When, ladies, when you make it, not ladies, women, when you make it, because ladies don't do this, when you make things transactional and you make it about monetary gain, or you make it about materialistic gain, you are putting yourself in a dangerous position, because he's going to want something in return, and you don't know what type of force he has or methods he used to ensure that he gets what he wants in return. So if you're talking about, let's go to the mall, let's do this, let's do that, or whatever the case may be, and he says, okay, you're going to let me have, you're going to let me hit it, or he says, Let me hit it first. And you come back and you say, if you take me to the mall first, if you go and buy me that bag first, if you go buy me those shoes first, if you pay my bills first, and he says, what can you do to ensure that I'm going to get what I'm looking for if I do that? You have created take accountability. You have created the environment of transaction. And there are some men that are willing to make it transactional, but it's his measure. If he has to go out there and buy you a couple $1,000 worth of merchandise, and all you are offering in return is one night alone with you, that might not be worth it to him. Now, depending on how much money he has and how much of a trick he is, and I'm gonna just call it what it is, because if you're transactional, it's tricking, because you want something materialistic and he wants, and you're making him pay for it. That's tricking. Then, depending on what he spends, he's gonna gauge what he wants in return. He might want a whole weekend with you. And to be real and to be honest, that's fancy prostitution, but it's prostitution. And no man should be paying to have access to intercourse with a woman. Because really and truthfully, even though men need sex and women want sex, sexual transaction is of equal benefit. Because if a man and a woman engages and he achieves what he's looking for in the bedroom and she achieves in the bedroom too, then that's a fair, even exchange if we're being technically honest. And I mean, when I say technically honest, I'm just saying by the book. But if you sit there and you're like, remember that scene from The Color Purple? When she said, I just let him climb on top of me and do his business. I mean, that's the way y'all carry it. Like, it's not enjoyable for you. It's such a trial for you. And listen, if it's not enjoyable for you and it's such a trial for you, then don't do that. Because any real man doesn't want to be with a woman that he likes or cares about and him get what he wants to get and she don't get what she needs to get out of it. He doesn't want to do that. When you care about somebody, if you my girl and we lay down and we make love, my number one concern is I want to make sure that you get yours because I'm going to get mine. But I only feel that way if I'm having intercourse with somebody that I truly care about and I care about outcomes for them. And if for some strange reason a man can't help her achieve that, he's going to feel some type of way about it. Now there are men out there that doesn't care about that. They just care about getting theirs. I'm not talking about those men. I'm talking about the man that cares about getting what you want. That's why I say that if you followed the correct steps, women, and you created a vibe with that man, and you created a sense of you're going to be there for him, and you create a sense of you're going to help him, or you're looking and interested in helping him get further along in his purpose and make him better, that vibe is going to create with the man with the right kind of heart, it's going to create a sense of let me look after you, let me do something for you. And 9 times out of 10, you don't have to ask for it. He's going to play you close enough so he's going to say, okay, I sense this, she needs this or she needs that, let me take care of that for her. Because when you really love and you care about someone, you are anticipatory for the most part. You may not be able to, and no, I'm not saying that a man will become a mind reader, but a man will pay attention to you. Like if you say, you like the color blue, or if you say you like the number 8, Or if you say when you're out and about with him, you say, "Oh, that is so nice. I'd love to be able to have that." I don't know. Oh man, I would love to be able to have that air fryer. And then next thing you know, he surprises you with it. He's showing you that he cares about you and he's paying attention to you because he didn't have to buy you the air fryer. And I'm just using it as an example, you know what I'm saying? So you have to remember you can't as a woman, you can't skip the steps. And to be real and to be honest, it's the men out here who are naturally born to become men. Because we're not born as men. We're born as nothing. And we have to and we it's in our nature to try to become a man. And it is our parents who help try to steer us in the right direction to give us the tools so that we can become a man. But men are not born like women are. Women are born. Don't believe me? Every woman that's born is born with all the eggs that she's going to ever have to have children. But it's an appointed time where she starts to release her eggs into her uterine wall, in onto her uterine wall to be able to expose herself to being able to have children. She's already a woman. It's just an appointed time where the maturation is going to develop where she is a woman. Whether her no, the size of her breast is going to already be in a mitochondrial DNA like way, already predetermined how they're going to look, the size and the quantity and the quality of it. All of that stuff is already predetermined. Her hips, how big or small they're going to be, her butt, how big or small, her height, all of that is predetermined. And I know you're saying, yeah, well, it's predetermined, a man's genitals and all that other stuff like that. Yeah, but that doesn't make a man a man. What makes a woman is what she has inside of her. A man has to put inside of himself what he needs to be a man. There are men there are grown looking men out here today who are not men. They don't possess the skills, the resources, or the tools to be able to compete competitively in the marketplace for the type of woman that he desires. He has to go out there and he has to figure it out and he has to go out there and get it. And I'm not just talking about money. He has to develop his mental. He has to develop his spiritual. He has to develop his physical to become the total man. And all of those components play a part. And some men are developed in some areas as men, and in other areas they're not. But being a man is not being one sided. Being a man is a totality. And typically, it takes a lot for a man to become a man, and he has to go through a lot, and he has to go through struggles, and he has to go through trials and tribulations to become a man. So when a man becomes a man, I'm sorry, but he is going to usually possess a type of confidence that might rub off wrong on some people. But if you knew what it took for him to get where he gets, it's kind of like you look at a basketball player like Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal. It takes such long hours and it takes such practices and things of that nature to become as dominant or great as they are. And yet and still, some people feel rubbed wrong because he think he all that. He is so arrogant. And it's just like, don't mistaken his confidence for his arrogance. If he goes in the gym and he works on his jump shot and he gets it to the point where he's confident that every time he pulls up and shoot, he's going to make it because he knows what it takes to not make it. Don't mistaken that as arrogance, it's his confidence. Steph Curry, even as nice of a person as he come off to be, can sometimes be mistaken as arrogant because he can shoot a shot and before it even goes in the rim, he can turn back around and head back down court. And you say, "Ugh, somebody somewhere is saying, I don't like that. He think he's all of that." No, he's confident his shot's going to go in just by the way it comes off of his fingers. So if a man has confidence that he can make money in his sleep because he's worked so hard to make money, if a man is confident that he can protect because he done whip so many he done whip so many guys' butts, whatever it is, he has the confidence through the struggles that he's been through, the trials and the tribulations he's been through. So there are steps. And if you're trying to skip the steps, women, and you are trying to wait at the finish line for a proven commodity to come across the finish line, you may be able to do that, but there is going to be repercussions. There's going to be something that comes with that. If you meet a man while he is in his building phase and you rock with him and you help him get to where he needs to get to, then you earn the right to have some semblance of entitlement to him. Not total entitlement, but within reason entitlement. If if I have a vision of becoming great at ABC business and you meet me and you join me because you believe in where I'm going and you aid and assist me with those struggles, that's going to help you to have that type of entitlement. But what I see today is a woman will wait until a man get his stuff completely together and becomes everything that he's supposed to become. And when he crossed the finish line and ready to receive his award, she's right there clapping as he crosses the finish line. She is expecting to grab his hand and she is expected to participate in the award ceremony and act like she's been there with him. But because you did not go through or participate in any of the struggles to help him get there, because you didn't do what you were designed to do and to be a helpmate, he's going to feel some type of way because as a woman, you are created to aid and assist the man that aligns with the purpose that is for your life. I'm not saying that you're supposed to aid and assist every man, but I'm not, on the flip side, I'm not saying that a man has to um, meet a woman at a finish line and do and give to her all of the things she's supposed to get. It actually, a lot of women today will feel like, okay, you take me shopping, you spend the bag on me, you fly me out, you pay my bills, and then in return, I will maybe give you some. And if that were the correct order, then what we're essentially saying is men are put here for women and women aren't put here for men. Men are designed to be helpmates to women, but women are not designed to be helpmates to men. And if you believe that and that's your philosophy, ain't got nothing wrong with you thinking that. But you're going to have to find a man that is along that wavelength. And a man that's along that wavelength usually follows in two categories or both. And that is a simp and that's a trick. And initially y'all like simps because you like what they tell you. You like the sweet nothings that they put in your ear. But eventually you find out that they are nothings and you're turned off by him. And with the trick, you like the fact that he buys you things and he spoils you and he does this, that, and the other, or whatever the case may be. But you end up dropping him off too because you lose interest because you don't have to, he's so easy and you don't have to do anything for that. And so you lose interest for that. You don't lose interest in a man who you help get to the point he's supposed to get to. Because even if he says, okay, I'm done with you, you're going to put up a fight like, no, 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 I didn't waste my time trying to do this, that, and the third. And I understand why some of you are just like, I don't really, I don't really want to invest in someone that could leave me high and dry. But you got to think about it from a male perspective too. We don't want to be with somebody who's going to drain us of everything that we worked hard for on our own or without them. I don't know the nuances of Michael Jordan and Juanita, but I do know that it wasn't a sense of when they broke up that Michael was trying to keep away from her what she was asking for. On the contrary, he wanted to make sure that she was taken care of because she was there for him in the development process. She was there for him to raise his children. She was there for him to provide some semblance of peace for him. But somewhere along the line, they decided that they weren't going to be together. But it wasn't a situation where they were trying to cut each other's necks off because they weren't going to work. And sometimes relationships don't work for or don't last forever. Sometimes they last for a period of time. But all relationships, if they're fruitful, there should be some benefit to all parties involved for being in that relationship. There's no benefit for a man going through his struggles, coming across the finish line, achieving what he has achieved, receives his rewards for what he has stressed to get, and a woman to meet him right there when he finishes at the finish line, and then she partakes and takes from him. And see, because I'm going to tell you like this right now. I don't just like I wasn't there, and I wasn't a fly on the wall for Juanita and Michael. I wasn't a fly on the wall for Elon and Tiger Woods either. And what happened was Tiger Woods already established before he met Elon? Yes. And what did she do? I don't care what kind of wife she was or whatever the case may be. I'm just giving you the facts. The fact was, I believe that woman got $700 million from Tiger Woods. And I don't even think, and I think Tiger Woods at one point was worth like $1 billion. I don't even think if she went through the struggles when he was developing and becoming Tiger Woods, even if she had done that, should she deserve 70% of his net worth? If that man had $1 billion and she gets 700 million, then that is 70%, if my math serves me correctly. Would you want to, whether you're a man or a woman, would you want to sweat your whole life to accomplish something and somebody comes into your life for a short period of time and they're able to take from you anything? The answer is heck no. You would not think about that, women, when you're out there doing this to men. If you work hard for something, do you want it taken away? No. So when a man works hard for something and he marries a woman in this societal system, he can have half of it taken away. So when a man is marrying a woman, what incentive is it for him to marry a woman if he's facing those odds? Well, he'll do that only if he feels that he's provided peace by that woman and he has provided companionship and help. And so, as men, that's why we have to make sure that we secure these things from a woman so that, worst case scenario, if we go our separate ways, we can have some semblance of feeling like we're better off for that relationship than we're not. But what happens is a woman wants to get everything up front and guaranteed. And then she wants to give a man in return the layaway promise or the layaway idea that what he seeks from her, he may get it, not even for certain get it. And even if you say to a man in a transactional way, you take me to the mall and I'll go back to your house. You should do something to secure. You should do something to secure him that what he's seeking from you, you're going to give him, no matter how shallow or deep it is. Because, like I said, if he wants something from you and you don't want to give it, you don't have to give it to him. But if you agree to it, and then he goes out and he does this and that and the third for you or whatever the case may be, and then you go, oh, look at the time, I gotta go. Oh, it was an emergency, something came up. What does he have to secure that? And that's not unreasonable because you would never go to a store and get merchandise and walk out of there with the merchandise and tell the store owner, I'll be back to pay. That's foolishness. That's stupid. And if he felt like you were going to do that without relationship, then he's a fool. No, that store owner would say, ma'am, I can't let you do that. Yeah, but I left my wallet at home. I'm just going to go get it and come back. Okay. Well, then leave your items at the front desk and we will hold them for you. And you go home and you get your wallet. And when you come back, these items will be here for you. But you first must purchase them before you go home with these items. I cannot allow you to leave this store without purchase. And so that's what that is. When you want a man to, first of all, I don't think he need to be taking you and doing those things for you when you're not his girl. But if he is willing to do that, if he's willing to simp, if he's willing to trick, okay, then you need to provide some sort of security deposit to let him know that what's coming to him is coming to him. In business, right? When I first started out in the insurance business, I would try to sell insurance. And one of the things that I was so disappointed with that I found out is, hold on a second. One of the things that I was so disappointed about when I started doing insurance is I would talk to people about getting insurance and they would say, yes, I'm interested in getting insurance. And then I would say, all right, let's schedule a time so that I can help you. And they said, okay, that's great. And I would say, is it mornings, afternoons, or evenings that are best? They would tell me, and I would look at my calendar and I would say, okay, you said afternoons. Can you do between 2 and 4 o'clock? They say yes. Can you do it on Wednesday? They say yes. And I said, okay. So I put it down on my calendar. Tuesday, Wednesday would roll around, 2 o'clock. I'm sitting at the office or I'm sitting in position to do the appointment and I'm there by myself. So 5 minutes roll past, 10 minutes roll past, and I said, well, let me see if I can call them. So I pick up the phone and I call, no answer. I leave a voicemail. Then I text them, no answer. 2:30 comes, 3, 4. Now I have wasted 2 hours not being productive, waiting for the appointment that I was supposed to have with Tom. And Tom was a no call, no show. I really thought Tom wanted to do some business. So even though that 2 hour window that I blocked off for him is gone, I'm trying to call Tom because it was hard for me to secure an appointment as it was. So I'm thinking and giving Tom the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, well, maybe Tom forgot. Maybe Tom had something come up. So I'm calling Tom again and I am texting Tom again and I'm leaving voice messages for Tom. So I don't want to miss this opportunity because so many people told me no, they don't want an appointment. So I finally got an appointment and I want to try to do everything that I can to see it through. Do you see how much time I'm really, really wasting? Now, meanwhile, I don't know this, but Tom, he sees my text messages. Text messages have a 98% open rate. So it's a 98% chance that he did that. Here's the thing about cell phones. Cell phones travel with people. It's not like once upon a time where people had a rotary phone at home. You call them and they didn't answer, and then they could say, I wasn't at home. But everybody has their cell phone with them. And even sometimes, and not just to move off of Tom for a second, even sometimes when you do an appointment or I'm sorry, even sometimes when you're hanging out with someone and they have their phone on them, and you notice sometimes they're getting a text message or sometimes they're getting a phone call, and you see them hit the ignore button or you see them look down at their phone. That should tell you if you're trying to contact them and reach them and they look down at their phone, they might be looking down at their phone and they're not picking it up because they don't want to pick it up. So when I'm calling Tom at 2:30, 3, 4 o'clock, when I call him later at 5 after I get off, if it's 8 o'clock at night, and he's still not responding, Tom sees my message. But in the beginning, I was very novice to this. I didn't know this, but Tom sees my message. So now, a couple of days go by, whatever the case may be. If I'm lucky, Tom will pick up the phone and he'll call me. And I'll say, hey, Tom, I tried to reach out to, yeah, I got a little sidetracked and I got a little busy. Don't fall for that. Because even if I'm in a meeting, if my mother calls me and I'm in a meeting, you know they have those settings on your phone where it says leave a quick text message and they got them pre-programmed. Everybody has them on their phone today. So it's no excuse. If you can't pick up your phone, you should be able to at least say, I'm in a meeting right now. Can I call you back? And you can have it pre-programmed. And I always do that because I have hundreds of people, and I've actually got thousands of people who have my phone number that might need access to me, but I don't hit the ignore button and leave it alone. I always send them some type of message back and hey, look, I'll call you back in a minute, or can we schedule a time to talk? That's giving the other person common courtesy. So when somebody like Tom doesn't give you the decency or the common courtesy to let you know that they are not going to be able to make it for the appointment, then that's what it is. I had another situation with a woman. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah told me she was interested in doing some financial planning and buying some products and services. So I said, okay, Sarah, when Sarah at one point, anytime I call Sarah, she answered the phone. Anytime I text Sarah, she would text me back. But there came a point where I would call her and she wouldn't answer the phone. I would text her and she wouldn't respond to it. And days would go by, and then she would reach out to me in the wee hours of the morning when she thought I was maybe asleep or something like that, dragging me on. But I was again young in the game and I didn't know any better. Inevitably, that went on for about a month. And Sarah said, well, I don't want to do this. When she could have told me she wasn't interested the whole time. And this is what happens to simps, and this is what happened to tricks. Y'all think that y'all are getting yourselves in a position with these women, but they have no intention. And if you make yourself plausible to be played, she'll play you. We have to secure that. So when I learned this about my business, because that's transactional too. When you're in a transactional situation, you have to make sure that you secure things on your end too, fellas. So what I did was I went and did some schooling and training, and I became a certified planner. So now that I'm a certified planner, if you want to schedule an appointment with me, or if you want to schedule an appointment with me, you have to pay me a security deposit to get that appointment. Now, when you pay me that security deposit at that particular point, yes, I want to help you. But if you do a no call, no show, you lose the money that you paid for standing me up. And so it's not a complete waste of my time. So if a person says, hey, for a couple of $100, you can secure an appointment with me. And you can say, hey, look, um, just like going to a doctor, sometimes doctors, they might charge you for missing an appointment. They'll bill you for missing an appointment. Why? Because that doctor's time is worth his money. And if you don't show up, he could have been helping somebody else. So you show no consideration when that happens. So look, if if we being transactional and you say to me, you got to take me to the mall first and buy me a bag and we can go back to your place. I don't know what you need to say to her, what you need to do to her, but if you want to go that route, my preference is don't do that. Don't do it that way. If y'all being transactional, you can say, hey, look, instead of going to the mall first, why don't we go back to my place first? and then we can go to the mall. And if she's like, no, then you can say to her, okay, if you don't want to, why don't you want to do that? Because I don't know if you're going to take me to the mall. You can turn around and you can say, well, I don't know if you're going to want to come back to my crib. You might be like, I'm on my period. Or you might be like, I just got an emergency I got to take care of. But I come to your crib tomorrow. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing it that way. You go and handle your business. See, because I know one thing about self. Self can trust self. So you know that you're good for what you're gonna do in a transaction, then you secure that. Now, you say to some, look, I don't know what you got to do. Sometimes like when you go to the pawn shop and you pawn something, they hold something as collateral so that if you renege on your payment, they got something that they can cash in. And look, I'm telling you right now, I'm not for the whole transactional thing. But if you choose, fellas, to be in a transaction, women, if you choose to be in a transaction, you need to understand it is nothing wrong with both parties wanting to secure their interest. If a and if a guy if you call up a guy because you're hungry and you want to go to said five-star restaurant and you just saying to yourself you don't want you can't afford to go there, you don't have the money, but you know Tom's got the money. Now you pick up the phone and you call Tom, and you say, hey Tom, how you doing? I was wondering if you wanted to maybe go out for dinner tonight at blankety blank restaurant. That's bold. Understand that your boldness can be matched. So Tom can say, all right, I can do that for you. And I was thinking about you coming back to my place and us Netflix and chilling. You gonna do that for me? Well, I mean, maybe. Well, I can't take you. Why? Because I don't see myself taking you to a five-star restaurant and then dropping you off at home. I'm going to feel slighted that I didn't get what I wanted out of the deal. Well, what do you want out of the deal? You know what I want out of the deal. I find you attractive. I'd love to be intimate with you. And since you're making it about this, since you're making this transactional, you're trying to get a transaction that you benefit from that you don't have to do anything for. And I'm telling you what I'm looking for. I'm not taking you out to dinner to a place like blah, 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 and you not trying to come up off that. And I'm not saying you have to, but what I'm saying is make it worth my while too. And then whatever you guys discuss in your agreement, make sure that you're securing what you got to secure. So if you know you're good for the dinner, Tom, but you're not sure if she's good for the love making, you might need to get your love making first. Because like I said, women were designed to be there for men, not the other way around. Yes, we're supposed to be there for women, but what I'm saying is in terms of purpose, women are the help, men are the main thing. And if a woman doesn't want to help a man with his purpose, then all he got to do is do his thing, and the right woman will come to him that wants to help him with his purpose. But women, you always have a choice. But when you start playing the transaction game, you need to understand that he might want a security deposit. Now, most women ain't gonna want to give us want to give a deposit. That's fine. If you don't want to give a deposit, understand you might not get what you want out of the deal either. Not from a real one. A real one ain't gonna do that. Matter of fact, a real one, it won't even be any transactions unless you his. Why would you, ladies, in general, why would you purchase something that's useless to you? Like, and that's what's happening when a man gives a woman what he wants first. What no, let me say that again. That's what happens when a man gives a woman what she wants first. There is no incentive for to give him what he wants. It's just an incentive in this society for her to cry out help. He's harassing me. He trying to do this, he trying to do that. And you're making it bad for the women that are really going through that. Women that are really going through men doing those things to them. So transactions ain't good for men. No, thank you. Now, there's this saying that's what's understood doesn't need to be said. No, we need understanding. Case in point, let's use let's use Tina and John and Seth. Okay. Now let's just say Tina needs, nope, let's say John needs some money. Tina knows someone that can help John secure some money. And that person's name is Seth. So John knows that Tina is resourceful. So John goes to Tina, tells Tina what he needs, and then Tina says, I got somebody for you. Now, an introduction is made. Tina says, Seth, this is John. John, this is Seth. Y'all go ahead and talk. And between Seth and John, Seth is able to give John what he was looking for. And it's a lot. Tina finds out that John and Seth talked and something was worked out. Now Seth has a fee that he told John was due to him, and John agreed. But now Tina feels slighted. Who owes Tina money? No one. No one owes Tina money. You know why no one owes Tina money? Because Tina did not make it clear. But Tina is sitting there saying, come on, John, I thought we were cool. Why wouldn't you give me such and such and such? And John's just like, you never asked. Man, that's foul. That's foul, John. But Tina felt like what was understood didn't need to be said. You're supposed to be my good friend. You're supposed to look out for me. And yeah, John should look out for her. But if nothing was discussed, if nothing was down on paper, then it's bogus. That's how men feel when a woman is telling a man, get me what I want, and then maybe I'll get you what you want. Y'all aren't even being definitive. And if you were trying to be definitive, you would say something like, I tell you what, I'll give you my purse. And you can hold my purse. It's got my wallet, it's got my ID, and it's got my credit cards in it as collateral that we definitely coming back to your place once we finish. Now, some of you are probably saying, I ain't doing that. But if he taking you out to dinner, he paying for it. If he going to buy you some whatever, he paying for it. What you need your wallet for? You said you're going back to his crib. So he takes that wallet, he takes that bag and he puts it in his safe. And he says, okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go, I'm going to take you out. We're going to do our thing. When we come back to my crib, we're going to do our thing. And then once we do our thing, I will get, I will go in the safe and I will get your bag. And you probably say, yeah, but that sounds really risque. That sounds really scary. Well, when you enter into transactions, that's possible. So if it's too scary for you, then don't engage in it. But see, you want him to buy you that Louis bag. You want him to buy you those red bottoms, whatever it is you want him to buy you. Okay, then you got to put down a security deposit. That makes sense. That makes it make sense. And when I told you earlier about me becoming a financial planner and charging people for appointments, you know what I've noticed? I have less and less no-shows. And I care less and less about if they show up or not. Because if you want me to be your financial planner, you got to pay me. You got to retain me. If you want me to, it's up to me. And sometimes, yeah, I handle it like I want to, but if you want to retain me as your planner, then you have to pay me a retainer fee. And you can pay me monthly, you can pay me annually, and you could pay me by appointment, you could pay me by hour. It's whatever I choose. But I'm in a position to be able to do that, right? So if you set an appointment with me and you done paid for the appointment, what is the likelihood you're gonna take it serious to show up? You are, because you're not gonna want to pay for something that you're not going to get good utilization for. And if I sit down with you and I go through the processes of trying to help you, what is the likelihood that you're going to renege on me helping you? You're probably not. You're probably going to be like, well, I ain't paid no retainer for nothing. I'm going to make and I'm going to get this transaction so I can get what I need to get out of the deal and make the money that I need to make. Now you see why when when all parties involved are assured and secured what their interest is, how things can move smoothly. Those free appointments that I was setting for people thinking that I'm doing them a favor, I wasn't. They were not taking me serious when I wasn't charging them. And sometimes when you're in negotiations and it's awkward, you might not say, for an example, let's go back to John, Tina, and Seth. Same scenario happens, but now here's what Tina does. Tina will say, John, I think I can help you. But before I help you, I have to ask you, what do I get out of the deal? Now, John needs this money, but it becomes real when Tina says, I understand you need the money, but when you get the money, what do I get from the money that you get? Because that's what I want. So then John, he might not like it, but John might say, well, if I tell Tina no, then I'm not going to be introduced to the person that can get me the funding that I need. So I got to cut Tina in. And Tina says, listen, it's nothing personal. This is just business. John's got to respect that. If John feels some type of way that Tina wants to get a referral fee for making something happen that John can't make happen, then John's got issues. Tina should not be at fault for wanting to look out for herself in some capacity to make sure that she gets something for brokering that relationship. Now Tina knows Seth, John doesn't. So the only way that John can know Seth is through Tina. And here is the thing. Even if John knew of Seth, he's not going to get in without the relationship. Tina already has a relationship with Seth. Seth wouldn't give John the time of day off the street, but because he has a relationship with because Seth has a relationship with Tina, follow me now, because Seth and Tina have a relationship simply by the proper introduction from Tina, John can get the conversation that he needs to position himself to get the funding that he needs. So John knows this is a hurdle we have to cross. So then John says, okay, Tina, I'll agree to give you 10% of whatever funding I get from John. I mean, whatever funding that I can get from Seth. Now, Tina can say yes or no to that. That's part of the negotiations. Or, same scenario, John can be unfamiliar with what he should give her as a finder's fee or a referral fee. So John could flip it on to Tina and say, okay, Tina, what are you looking for? And then Tina can tell John what she's looking for. You know, I, I want 5%. Well, John in his head, he might have said, I can give her 10%. But see, she didn't even ask for 10%. She only asked for 5%. He can say, all right, deal. Tina's happy because Tina stated what would make her happy, 5%. Now, if she didn't say 5%, she said some money. Okay, I want $10,000. He was like, well, whoa, whoa. What if I only get $10,000? I can't do that. I can do it by percentage. That's called negotiation. So when you're doing transactions, there is going to be negotiations. So women, stop being so offended that when you are putting the situation in a transactional phase, that there's negotiation. You can't take negotiations personal. It's business. Transaction is business. If a man is taking a woman out to the mall and buying her some clothes or flying her out to whatever the case may be. And he says, look, I'll fly you out. Look, we can go to Jamaica for a week, but I need you to understand when we fly out to Jamaica what I'm expecting. What I'm expecting. Now he might drive a hard bargain. He might say to you, look, when we get to Jamaica, like he might say, when are you on your period? Because that's the excuse a lot of women you use, right? When do you come on your period? Well, I've been off my period for about a week. Okay, so we ain't got to worry about you getting on your period, right? And we ain't got to worry about nothing else. I take you out to Jamaica, you know, I'm not taking you out there and I'm just telling you, like, I want to be with you. Like, I mean, you're very attractive, you're very beautiful. I want to explore the physical aspect of that, and I just want to be clear and upfront. And she say to you, and then she say to you, hey, listen, you take me out to Jamaica, I'm yours. I'm your girlfriend while we there. We getting it in. We doing it. We doing whatever the case may be. Well, whatever he needs to secure that, he said, all right, I tell you what we'll do. When I fly you out to Jamaica, I'm gonna buy you a one-way trip. I'm gonna buy you a one-way ticket. And we get it in, then I'll buy you a one-way ticket back. But if we get out there and you do some foul stuff, then you have to find your way back. And then I'm not paying for the hotel reservation or whatever the case may be. So I'm like day one. I know that sounds crazy, but guess what? He's trying to secure what he wants. And you don't have to secure what you want because most of the time, what you want as a woman, you want it up front. You play these games like men are supposed to provide. And what you really need to understand is men are only supposed to provide for his. It's not his job to provide for every woman that he is interested in or he comes in contact with. If I meet you and we going out to dinner or whatever the case may be, yeah, I'm a gentleman. I pay for dinner, but I am not obligated to buy you clothes, shoes, and fly you out. That's something that I'll do for my woman, but I'm not doing that for a woman. This is not my responsibility. Just like if I see a woman in distress, technically, yes, it's a gentleman of me to come to her aid, but I am not obligated to protect her, though I should. So I get it. A man should provide and a man should protect. But if a man is going around and providing and protecting for everything that doesn't belong to him, then he's going to be depleted. Yeah, but you just need to go and get another bag. Who wants a life? of going out there and working for what you got or making what you got and giving it away to everybody. I mean, it sounds good, but you wouldn't even do that. So you're asking somebody to do something for you, and you should never ask somebody to do something for you that you ain't willing to do. And I don't want to hear ain't willing. I want to know you did it. Look, an NBA player, an NFL player, a Major League Soccer player, I mean, a soccer player, not Major League, but a soccer player, a professional soccer player who makes money, millions and millions and millions of dollars. They are not obligated when they get their money to give it all away and only spend just enough for food and shelter. Now, they worked hard for that money. So they deserve to invest that money. They deserve to save that money. They deserve to spend that money. Whatever they want to do from a charitable standpoint is based on whatever they want to do from a charitable standpoint. But they're not obligated to give to charity. And you are not within your right to twist their arm to give to charity. You may ask them to give something to charity, but they're not obligated to do it. Just because somebody has something doesn't mean you're entitled to it. They worked hard for their money, or they schemed hard for their money, or they connived hard for their money, or they had mental properties to help them conjure up that money. Nobody should nobody should be obligated to benefit from your blessing. But when you standing at the finish line waiting for them guys to come across, that's what you're doing. You feel entitled and you feel obligated that they are supposed to do something for you because you are beautiful. That because you are the table. That just your presence is enough. Your presence is enough if he say so. Look, look, I told you women's value is intrinsic. But every single man doesn't have to value that woman's intrinsic value. She's going to be of value to whomever she is of value to. So when I say all women are born with their value, that does not mean that all women are valued by every man that she wants to be valued by. If what you bring to the table is not what he wants or desires or interested in, you can't make him desire it and be interested in it and pay for it. And if he's not going to be able to secure exclusivity and access to what he wants from you, he shouldn't have to pay for anything for you. If you want to eat at that five-star restaurant and you don't want to give the man that security, here's an idea. Pay for your own plate. Take yourself out to dinner. And if that's no fun, oh well. He has a right. A man has a right in a transaction to negotiate his terms and his conditions. Life isn't fair. And it's not about getting what you think you deserve. It's about getting what you can negotiate you deserve. As I stated before in that example about John, Tina, and Seth, if John inwardly was willing to give Tina 10%, but Tina negotiated 5%, it's not his job to say, no, Tina, 5% is too low. You deserve 10%. No. If in his negotiation strategies he got a bargain, then that's what he got. When you go to a dealership to buy a car, a brand new car, and you paying cash, you can haggle. Haggle means you can negotiate the price to a degree. And if you're skillful enough, you can negotiate that thing down all the way to the lowest point of wholesale. But if you're not skilled enough to do that, and the sales associate is more skilled than you are at keeping the price high so that that salesman is getting the most commission, so be it. Every interaction that you have, selling is happening. Somebody is being sold something and somebody is selling something. Tina, if it's not about the money to Tina, then Tina wouldn't mention it. I need them, not me. Yeah, John. Sorry. I've done a transaction like that. But if John needs the money, but he doesn't want to give anybody a referral fee, then John can deal with it's John's job to go and find the person or the entity that can give him the money. And then he won't have to pay a referral fee to someone to broker a deal. And if John is talking to Tina and Tina talking about a referral fee and John is so offended, John has every right to shut down the negotiations. He can say, man, please, I ain't doing that. And Tina can say, well, I'm not giving up my source. And what Tina doing isn't wrong. Tina is just saying, hey, listen, I know somebody that can help you. And John's not on the hook if who Tina introduces him to can't help John unless Tina say so. Unless Tina say so. But John always can, Tina say, look, I'll get you a person that you can talk to, but you're going to have to give me a referral fee. And John can say, okay, but what if that person can't help me? Tina can say, I don't care. I don't care if what y'all do works or not, but I know somebody that can help you, that may be able to help you. Well, John might be like, well, that's not enough for me. John wants to be ensured he's going to get help. So John might say to Tina, okay, Tina, I can't give you or pay you for, I already need to secure funds. I can't give you something that I don't have. So I'll be more than happy to give you a referral fee if it's contingent, but it has to be contingent on me getting money. And I can't give you a flat fee because I'm not sure how much money I'm going to get. But I can do a percentage because 10% of 100,000 is 10,000. 10% of a million is 100,000. So if we keeping it by the percent, then I can do that. Agents do that for their clients. They say, hey, look, I can get you endorsement deals and contracts and this, that, and the other. But whatever I get you, I want 3%, or I want 2%, or 4%, or 5, whatever it is that the going rate is. So if an agent said that to me, then I'm gonna say, all right, only on deals I get, right? And the agent says, yes, only on deals that I get you. And I said, okay. Tell you what, since you have a track record of getting your clients deals, a slice of pie in the hand is better than a whole pie in the bush. All right, I'm willing to sign that contract. And then it's no sweat. So now that agent goes out there and that agent gets you a $20 million blankety blankety blank. Let's make it 10 million since it's easy math. And you got a 3% deal with that agent. Well, what's 3% of 10 million? That's what you have to give the agent. But you have to recognize the agent is doing something for you that you couldn't do for yourself, or you don't have time to do for yourself. So if you have to give that agent 3% of 10 million, what is that? Let me do the math on that. Okay. So you giving that agent $300,000 so you can enjoy $9,700,000. Well, you have to look at it like this. That $9,700,000 wouldn't even be possible without your agent. You didn't have to spend the time to position yourself to get that deal. Your agent did that for you. It's nothing wrong with making sure your agent gets that money. You taking it personal. I shouldn't have to give you $10 million. Yeah, well, you wouldn't have the $10 million if it wasn't for me. So you have to understand when you're leveraging. If a woman wants you to take her shopping, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be, you have to recognize that she's either saying she can't afford the bag or she doesn't want to spend her own money on a bag. So don't let a woman sit there and finesse you and like she's like, I got my own money. You put her on the spot. Say, okay, so you got your own money. You doing your thing, right? Yeah, I'm doing my thing. I got my own money. Okay, so then you shouldn't be worried about my money. You want that bag, go get it. In negotiations, she'll tell you, yeah, but I don't want to spend my money when I can spend yours. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So you want me to spend my money on the bag. And what I'm telling you is for me to spend my money on the bag, since you want this to be transactional, I want something from you. Because what I'm not going to do is take you up to the mall, buy you a bag, and then let you go on your merry way. How does that benefit me? I have no benefit from that. I'm not benefiting because you're cute. I'm not benefiting from you smiling. I can look at a woman walk past me and see her smiling and see her look cute. So I need something for me to do that. And then maybe in the negotiation, she comes to the point, she's like, well, I better buy my own bag. Okay, she better buy her own bag. If I call a cleaning service to my house, right? And let's just say I pay $250 for her or them to come to my house and clean up from top to bottom, right? When I give them the money, it ain't no question that they are to come to the house and do that thing. Most of the time, they give me the services, and then after the services are rendered, I pay them. So in good faith, it's like, okay, I'm coming out to the house and I'm going to clean the house for you from top to bottom. Once I clean the house, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. And you can agree to what I do or not. The cleaning people might come to the house and say, hey, look, I'm not going to do any folding of no clothes, no folding of clothes or anything like that. But what I'm going to do is we're going to sweep. We're going to, we're going to clean the trash up. We're going to sweep. We're going to mop. We're going to wax the floors. We're going to clean the cabinets. We're going to dust. We're going to do those types of things. And then we're going to make sure that everything is supposed to be in order in the bathrooms and stuff like that. We're going to clean the bathrooms. They go through and they tell me everything that they're going to do. And then my job is to visualize what they're going to do and say to myself, would I be satisfied with that service? But if I come to the conclusion that I would be satisfied for that service and I say, okay, yeah, that sounds great. How much? And then they tell me how much. Whatever they tell me, I can agree with or disagree with. But if I disagree with it, they got an option at that point. They can either lower the price or they can say, well, we're not budging on our price. We don't have it. And then they hang up the phone or they walk away. But if I agree the services that they say they're going to give me and I agree to the price that it cost, then I say, okay, come on Tuesday. When it come on Tuesday, in good faith, in good faith, they do the work first. And once they do the work, it is within reason for them to expect payment. So if they charging me $300 for the service, I agreed to it. That's why they came out to my house. Once they come out to my house, they are expected without question to do what it is that they need to do. And if they do what it is they need to do, like they said they need to do, then I should be expected to pay them the rate at which they asked to be paid, $300 if that's the case. And then they happy and I'm happy. I got a clean house. They got that $300. So it's the same thing. But it would be real shoddy if they come to do what they say they're going to do. They clean up my house, this, that, and the other. And after they finish, I go, "Oh Lord, I I thought I had money on me, but I don't really have no money. Call me tomorrow and I'll get you your money." I put them in a bind. And if I'm a bad person, I don't never get them their money. I just finesse them out of cleaning my house. You think they're gonna clean my house again? Nope. And do you think that anything good's gonna come out of that for me not doing that? No. I should have known I didn't have the money. If I didn't have the money, I should have stopped them from coming. So now translate that into what a woman wants and what a man wants. Translate that. Because I'm gonna tell you, women want access to the bag. These women want access to the bag, and these men want access to, you know, don't get offended that men want access to, because it ain't personal. It's not business, but it ain't personal. It's transactional. Now, what a man shouldn't want is transactional. He should want it secured. See, when a man has a woman as his woman, he don't have to pay for it. He get it. But just by being together, she gets the perks and the benefits of being with him. So she gives him, and then in turn, she gets access to those material things. She gets access to security. Because if a man is asking for this, anybody that's trying to disrupt that, he's going to protect that. He's going to fight for that. But a man is not going to fight for something that's not his. Not really. He doesn't have to. He's a gentleman if he sees a woman in trouble and he just freely helps her. But he's not obligated to do that. And the confusion is you females that think that way, you think that a man is obligated to provide and obligated to protect. You don't value men. Because a lot of times you only want to deal with men when it's beneficial for you. You talk about men like they dogs. Men ain't this, men ain't that. Blah 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 blah. Now you need something, and then you want to get into and slip into your feminine energy, and then you want to get a man to do what he needs to do for you. Men ain't this, men ain't that. Now your car break down, and you don't pick up the phone and you don't call a female mechanic. Now you pick up the phone and you call a male mechanic. I'm not saying there ain't no female mechanics, but you have a harder time trying to find a female unless you already know her. You'd have a harder time trying to find a female mechanic than you would a male mechanic because that's a male dominated field. And everything that you need from a physical standpoint is male dominated. Nobody tells you that you have to opt into just being working in an office setting as a woman. Nobody's opting to say that you have to only work in hospitality. Nobody's opting to say that you only have to work into like uh, um, or a customer service field or a client service field or a patient service field. You work in those fields because those are the things that you naturally gravitate into doing. You don't work in coal mines. You don't work as the trash man. You don't work at working on bridges. You don't work at infrastructure. You don't work in architecture. You don't work into roofing. You don't work in the plumbing. You don't work in the heating and the air conditioning. These are things that are so core essential to life that you at some point are going to need. And if you have the mantra of men ain't nothing, when you need these things, you're going to need to count on men because you're either opting not to do those things or you don't want to do those things. It's okay if you don't like men, but every time you have a problem in your house, you are confident and have no problem with rolling up your sleeves and doing it. But you can't say you don't like men when you need men. You need to really work on your disposition on men. And I ain't saying that you gotta like all men, but what I am saying is when you do have a good man, a good sound man, listen, I know I sell insurance, but I'm good with my hands though. So I'm not saying that I am the ultimate um, plumber, or I'm not saying that I'm the ultimate uh, electrician, or I'm not saying I'm not the ultimate plumber, but it may be possible that I can fix that leak. It may be possible that I can unstop the toilet that you don't know how to. I'm not a mechanic, but it may be possible that if that tire's flat, I know how to change the tire. That oil needs to be changed and we can't get it to a place to change the oil, that I could change the oil. I might not be able to do what a certified mechanic can do or a certified plumber can do, but I might be able to do something basic. And sometimes the only thing that needs to be addressed is the basics. And having a man in your life who can address the basics is going to help you consume less. And when you consume less, then you have more money to invest. You have more money that you can spend. So men are valuable. You just don't value them because you ain't thinking about it right. The only people that can, if I talk bad about somebody, I'm putting myself in a position where I'm saying I don't need you. So if you have a brother, a sister, a mother, a dad, and you have the audacity to talk cold hard cash to them about whatever it is, understand that when you fall into the category of need, you are eliminating that person from you being able to ask them for something. You treat somebody bad, you can't go to them, and that's what's so comical. You'll treat somebody so bad, and then you'll get into a rut, and then you'll depend on the title of the relationship that you have with that person, a brother, a sister, or whatever, a cousin. And you'll go, hey brother, hey sister, hey cuz, yeah, I'm in a little bind. Can you help me? And then you feel like they got the audacity if they say, you got some nerve calling me and asking me to help you. And now you snapping on them. That's why I don't call you for nothing anyway. Still ain't gonna change the fact that after you finish snapping on them, you still in need. See, because you think you can treat people however you want to treat people because you don't think you're gonna ever need them. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you ain't gonna need it. You making a whole lot of money as a woman. You got houses and cars, this, that, and the other. You don't see that you're gonna ever need your brother for anything because you got it going on. But you never saw you losing it all. You never saw everything being taken away from you. You never saw it coming. And when it comes, if it comes, and you down on your luck and you scraping at the bottom of the barrel, the first people that you're going to look to are the people, your family. Because you're going to feel like family. That's when you're going to be playing the card. Family's supposed to be there for each other. But family wasn't, but that wasn't applicable when you weren't being there for your family. See, when you had the money, when you had the resources, and you had the time, and your brothers and your sisters came to you, or your mother and your dad came to you, because you didn't need them, you didn't feel the need to be there for them. As soon as they open their mouth, hey, brother, hey, sister, I need to, I ain't got it. Yeah, but I didn't even ask you. Yeah, but I just don't have anything right now. I'm going through it myself right now. You lying through your teeth. But you don't want to be, now the rule doesn't apply to you. Now family doesn't apply to you. It only applies to you when you need something. You know people like that? Sure you do. Because we living in that age of greed. I got people in my family that only call me when they need something. And they lean on the fact that we're blood. And a lot of you females out there doing the same thing when it comes to men. You only see men as a bag of money or sperm. You'll lay down and you'll have a child with a man, and the only thing that you want him to do is give you money, 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 money. You don't want him to see his child. You don't want him to be in his child's life or nothing like that. And the only other thing that you think he was good for was thanks for the sperm. That's how a lot of you women are. Thanks for the sperm. That's all you were good for. He never had a chance with his children. You didn't never give him a chance. You didn't make it any easier on him to see it. He don't come to see his kid. Yeah, he doesn't come see his kid. But why? You don't want to talk about that because a lot of women have accountability issues. They think everything that's wrong is because of something that is outside of them that happened to them. Mm-mm, no, that's not true. You ain't so lily white and perfect that you did everything the righteous way and all of a sudden nobody knows the trouble I've seen. No, not true. For every action, there is a reaction. And if you were lily white, perfect, and true, and you ended up with a guy who was everything that you say he is, that still comes back to you. That means you terrible in choice making. See, you uh, even if you're in a okay, usually when you're dealing with somebody and bad things happen, there were red flags, but you chose to ignore them. So if you had chose to ignore the red flags, you have to be accountable for that. But you're allergic to accountability. So that's why these things happen. It's always not your fault. It's always somebody's obligation to do something for you, but it's never their obligation to expect anything from you. And society allows it. You as a woman put on too much weight. You know you got too much weight, but society doesn't punish you. Girl, you big and beautiful. But the reality is you're carrying more weight than you should, and it puts you at health risk. But if somebody say that to you just like that, they're being misogynistic. They're a bad person. Like a man can't tell his wife, you need to lose some weight. We've seen how that happens. How do I look in my dress? You look like you busting out of your dress. Like you didn't know you were busting out of your dress. Like when you put your dress on and you were in front of the mirror, you knew you had more hanging over your underwear than you cared for. But you want your man to lie to you and say, ooh, girl, you look good. So you can feel confident about stepping out in that. But what he's saying is you're a reflection of him. It's not going to look good on you. And as a result, it's not going to look good for him. You're so selfish. All you thinking about is yourself. Well, you're a reflection of me, and I want the best reflection. So I just tried to tell you in a nice way, why don't you go? Come on, let me go upstairs with you. Why don't you wear this? So I'm trying to spare your feelings, but I'm trying to say to you in a nice way, like what you were wearing is not flattering. But we live in a society that'll punish me for doing that to you. But when the shoe's on the other foot, there is no protection for me. So I'd like to add this to it too. In society, women are born with their values, with their value, not values. Women are born with their intrinsic value, and they're born with built-in protections. But the protections really isn't protecting her. It actually allows her to continue to be coddled into her troubles. If a woman today goes out there and she's promiscuous, society tells her it's freedom of choice. She can do whatever she wants to do. She's an independent woman. Society tells her men have been doing it for years. Yeah, but while men have been doing it for years, women have been dogging men for doing it for years. So if men can be dogged for doing it for years and women start doing it, how much sense does it make for women not to be dogged for it? Let's make it even. If women are now able to do that and be promiscuous, stop giving men a hard time for being promiscuous too. See, but you don't like that. You want men to be accountable. You want men to be disciplined. And you want men to not do that. So we can hold men to a standard, but we can't hold women to a standard. We holler about, whether it's gender or race, we holler about equality, but we don't want equal responsibility. So we're picking and choosing the things that we want. We're picking and choosing aspects of the things we want, and then we're doing away with the things that come with it that we don't want. So what are we doing? If a man meets a woman and she got 2 kids, he can't just say, well, I want to deal with her, but I don't want nothing to do with the kids. She would tear him a new one. What you mean you don't want anything to do with my kids? If you can't deal with my kids, then you can't deal with me. And he says, yeah, but they not my kids. So why should I have to be their daddy? I ain't asking you to be their daddy. I'm just saying that you got to accept my kids. And then I say, okay. And then we get together and you expect me, and we have kids, and you expect me to do the same thing for your kids that you already had before you met me, that I do for our kids that we have together. Now that's a bad deal, but you expect that. You can't treat my son. I go, for Christmas, I gotta go and buy. Uh, I go for Christmas. I go and buy my child 10 items. I gotta buy your child 10 items. But when my child is out of line and I want to correct my child, that's one thing. But when the child you had before you met me gets out of line and I want to correct him, no, that's another thing. So we're picking and choosing. So we have a child and it don't work out between us. I have some inalienable rights to my child, but I have no inalienable rights to your child. So the whole time I was with you and I built the relationship with your child, I come back and build a relation. I want to build a relationship. I want to continue to have the relationship with the child, but I can't have a relationship with the child because I don't have any rights to the child because that's not biologically my child. When you ask for it, accept what comes with it. Women should not be transactional. A lady should be trying to secure long term with a man. So if she wants to secure long term with the best kind of man, she has to know what it takes to retain a man, not get a man. Your beauty and your sex appeal is going to get a man, but it's not going to retain a man. How you are bringing him peace, companionship, and help is going to determine retaining a man. If you're offering the same things that the typical woman offers, he's going to know he can get that typically from anywhere. You're not going to have any value to him, even though you have value. You have to harness the intrinsic value that's inside of you as a woman to be able to retain a man. I'm certainly not going to marry a woman, nor any man is going to marry a woman in a day and age where it's not beneficial for men to get married. Ain't no deal for him to get married. Ain't no government perks, and it ain't no perks with a woman. The only way that it is an incentive for a man to marry a woman is if she gives him something unmistakably that no one that it's hard to find from someone else for him to have. And she has to leverage that with her exclusivity. So a woman, even a woman who can provide a man what he's looking for, if it's not going to be exclusive to him, he's going to be turned off by it. So I know it's not fair that men go out there and sleep with whoever they want to. But that's why you can't go out there as a woman and sleep with whoever you want to. Because every time you sleep with a man, you lose the luster of exclusivity. Why it matter body count, this, then the other? Because you have pair bonding issues. Because you done slept with so many men. And so when even if you're giving a man exactly what he needs, he's concerned if he has children with you, are they going to be his? He's concerned that you're going to get and lose interest one day and leave him. And it doesn't help that the statistics support that concern because of all of the divorces that happen within the first 8 years, 80% of them are women that are filing the divorce. It is not, if a man knows he's going to get divorced by you, what incentive do he have in marrying you? If a man knows that you are promiscuous and that you might go out there and cheat, what incentive do he have in having children with you? Don't know. Listen, what is the statistics? One out of every three paternity tests that are done, the man finds out he's not the father. So, and then you get upset because the things that he's concerned about are not opinions but facts. That's a fact. One out of every three paternity tests that are taken, the father is the man is found to not be the father. The average marriage lasts 8 years. That's a fact because every marriage is recorded and every divorce is recorded. So we don't have to, oh, that's just a small sample size. No, that's all of them because that's public information. And then 80% of the divorces that happen are initiated by women. Yeah, that's because men deserve. If a man knows that it's certain things that he can do to get a divorce, and he's disciplined enough to not do those things, and he would know that that would ensure he wouldn't get divorced, then he'd have nothing to worry about for divorce. But women aren't leaving for a lot of times legitimate reasons. Women are leaving for stuff like, I need to find myself. I'm just not happy. What's the girl, the Tia and Tamara twins? She said she left because she wasn't happy. I can't think of who it is. I think it was Tia. Tia got a divorce, I think, like after 14 years. Now, I don't know the details or whatever the case may be. Now, if she said something like, okay, um, he broke his covenant with me, that's one thing. But if he didn't break his covenant with her And all of a sudden, she missed the butterflies from when she was first dating him, or and that's why she's divorcing him, or she divorcing him because she's not happy with herself, because a man can't make you happy and a woman can't make a man happy. So like happiness is something that you that's on you. So because it's something with you that I can't control, that's getting out of control, you're gonna divorce me and then you're gonna take half of what I have. Why would I get married if you've already exhibited that type of behavior? Why would I get married if you have pair bonding issues? Meaning, like after you sleep with more than five, statistics show, science shows, after a woman sleeps with more than five people, her pair bonding ability takes a hit, a tremendous hit. Go look it up. See, when we're dealing with feelings, we don't want to deal with facts. But facts is something that men have to deal with because it's something that they forced to deal with. When you have to earn something, you have an appreciation for it. But when you don't have to earn it, you don't have an appreciation for it. That's why when a man goes out there and he earns manhood, because it's got to be earned. Remember, men are not born, men are made. Women are born. So when you got so it's the equivalent of having to go out there and get your fortune versus being a trust fund kid. And we're not jealous that women have to become that women have it inherently. We're not even concerned about that. We accept that. But we get to us and we say, okay, nothing's given to us. Let's go ahead and get it. And you ever seen a trust fund boy? A boy that grows up and gets a trust fund that makes him not have to work for anything? Excuse me. Those are some of the most disrespectful people for authority. Those are the people that don't have any class. Those are typically people that are really obnoxious and rude and this, that, and the other because they don't know what it's like to go through any kind of struggle. So when a man says, when a woman compliments a man and says, "Oh my gosh, you're very handsome. Oh my gosh, look at you, you have a nice physique. Oh my gosh, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah." It means so much more to us as men because we earned it. But how many times the average woman goes outside and get compliments? And they're used to getting it every day. I don't get compliments every day. And I'm not a terrible looking person. I get compliments, but it's not every day. And usually the way if I'm dressed in just like jeans or a t-shirt, I mean, I can go the whole day and not get a compliment. That's fine. But a woman, she wakes up and goes to the store and somebody's hitting on her. She didn't even earn that. It came so easily to her. I said this before. If I want to go to the club and get and be in the VIP section and pop bottles and all that other stuff like that, nobody's giving me that. I have to pay for that. And if I don't handle my business first and I pay for that, I'm gonna have troubles in my life. If I'm taking rent money, if I'm taking utility money, car payment money, and I'm buying out the bar, I might have fun for a moment, but guess what? I'm gonna pay for it. And ain't nobody gonna coddle me about it. You took your rent money and you went to the club and got a VIP section? You stupid. But take it on the flip side. A beautiful woman go in her closet, put on a nice outfit, make sure her hair's neat, put on makeup to enhance her beyond what she really is. She steps foot to the club. She gets in the VIP section. She gets the bottles popping. She get to enjoy those things. And 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, she paid zero for it. So she gets to enjoy herself the same way that man had to enjoy himself. That same way the man enjoyed himself. The only difference is that from the scenarios I gave you, That woman doesn't have any price to pay for that enjoyment that night, and he does. So tomorrow night, he can't go out because now he out of money, but she can go right back out because it didn't cost her anything. That's it. That's the difference. And we accept that. We accept that. So when something comes so easily to you, you don't appreciate it and you don't respect it as much as if you had to earn it. So if a man is able to go out there and sleep with a lot of women, trust me, it's not easy. He either using his words, which is a skill he develops, he's either using his money, the skill he developed, or he has some type of clout. He has to have something that's earned for him to get that. It's not like high school. See, in high school, if he's handsome, he gets play from the ladies because they don't know no better and they're in a controlled environment where the money doesn't matter as much as it does in the real world. Children are in a bubble until they're from underneath their parents. Remember, all you had to do was make sure you take out the trash, keep your chores done, and do your schoolwork. And that's really all you had to do as a child in most cases in first world country, America or Europe. Yeah. But when you get out there on your own, you find out that it's something else, it's something more different. Right. So women get to, and so what I was saying is it's not so easy for men. So when a man is able to go out there and he's able to have access to a lot of women. It's because of something that he had to go out there and earn. So if a man has to earn something and then he gets access to choices and he wants to exercise his choices, y'all want to vilify him for exercising his choices. Did you know only 15% of the men are really wanted by 100% of the women? Because most women don't want 9 out of 10 men. They're not good enough. If a man makes $50,000, the typical woman, $50,000 a year, typical woman, that ain't good enough for her. Because she wants a certain type of lifestyle. She wants somebody that's scamming, fraud. She don't even want him to have a good job, working job, because she don't want she wants money coming in every day. She doesn't want a man that's getting paid every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, twice a month. She don't want that. She wants a man that's getting a bag, doing something to get him a bag every day and have the free time to be able to jump up and go whenever he wants to. So even if a man is a doctor, a lot of these streetwalkers don't even want a dollar, don't even want a doctor because they work too much. But some of them that don't want to deal with men will settle for a doctor because they don't have to deal with the doctor because he's going to work too much. So when she gets access to his house, she gets access to his cars, when she gets access to his bank account, while the doctor's out there working really, really hard, she's out there messing with these other men trying to get other perks and other benefits. And then when she comes across a scammer who makes more money than the doctor, she just breaks the doctor's heart and she leaves and go with the scammer. And then she don't care if that scammer is going to get put in jail because she ain't never wanted, because her disposition on man is bad already. She ain't even want to deal with a man. She just wanted to deal with the bag of a man. Only and only if she wants to have a child with a man, she want him from that. But these women that don't appreciate and value men, it's about the bag. They don't even care if you with them. You'll see sometimes a man be married to a woman and he's in the military even, and she's there and she never has to see him and it's all good till he retires. Then she realized I don't like him. Now she want to divorce him, but she been with him long enough, so she takes half of his stuff. So and listen, and I'm not saying that all women are not like this, but I would be lying if I said that these types of women are anomaly. There are more women out there like this today than there are opposite of that. A woman that won't use you and abuse you today is an anomaly compared to the normality. A woman that won't divorce you after 8 years is an anomaly. I mean, it isn't a normalcy is normality. It's an anomaly. There's more of a chance that when you get married to a woman, she's going to file divorce versus staying with you until death do you part. And I don't want that to be true, but that's the facts. Well, like I said about sample size gives you an idea, but divorce rates is an idea because everybody that wants a divorce has to file them through court. And I'm not, and that doesn't even count the women who left the man and didn't file a divorce. They just ain't with him no more. Yeah, it's some people who got married, no longer together, and didn't get a divorce. So when we say a majority of marriages end in divorce, that doesn't even count for the people who just left. So the number's higher. But even if you don't count those people, the majority of marriages end in divorce. More people get divorced than they do get married. And of all of those divorces, 20% of them are filed by men. I filed for my first divorce because I was married once before. I'm married now. I don't believe in that, but I had no choice and I filed for the divorce. So I'm part of the 20%. And here's another thing. When a woman is educated, that number goes from 80% to 90%. So really, I'm in the 10 percentile of divorce. Men don't get divorced unless they absolutely positively have to. Men getting a divorce is an anomaly. Women getting a divorce is a normality. Marriages lasting an average of 8 years is not an anomaly. Marriages averaging an average of marriages averaging 8 years is a normality. So when a normality says you're not going to even be with your girl for a decade, and when divorce happens, you can expect to lose 50% of what you have. Is that an incentive to get married? Is that an incentive to get married? No. If I told you, come walk in the woods with me, you would be like, uh, for what? And I was able to somehow convince you to take a walk in the woods with me. But I looked at you and said, before we go into the woods, there is an 80% chance that a bear will jump out and attack us. You still going in the woods? Heck no. And for me wanting to go in the woods still, you would tell me I'm what? You would tell me I'm crazy. So, what say you? Why would a man want to get married today? The only reason a man would want to get married today is he would have to see loyalty and exclusivity. And the only way he can see exclusivity is through body count. And him depending on a woman to tell him the truth about body count, he can't. But he can tell by her behavior and learning about her past. She says she had a lot of boyfriends, this, that, and the other. It's a dud. Just see how just fella seeing how she operates. How she operate with you. Was she trying to get to know you or was she trying to get to know what you could do for her? So I keep talking about these issues because these are the issues. These are the issues. And maybe I say it in some kind of way that you get what I'm saying. But the relationship is the most important thing that we have in our community. Choosing a life partner is the most important decision you'll make in your life. And for fellas, when it comes to a woman, I'm going to tell you this just right now. They're going to be, oh, you got to be, and it doesn't make them a bad person, but you got to watch what somebody's selling. They're going to try to sell the best thing for you. Like I said about makeup. Makeup is an enhancement. So when a woman puts on makeup, she wants to enhance herself beyond what she is. Otherwise, she wouldn't do it. So that's why I call makeup liquid lies. She's trying to project herself as something that she's not capable of being. So she's trying to use a platform like makeup to get her to a new level so she can have new accesses. Otherwise, it would be best for her to just accept herself for who she is and work with what she is naturally. So shout out to the women out there who don't really use makeup and they still look good. Now, I'm not saying you can't use makeup. Because listen, if I'm married, which I am, and me and my wife, we're going somewhere formal, which we do, and she wants to put on some makeup in that situation, she can. And if that enhances me, and if that enhances her, it possibly could benefit me because someone may want to come talk to me because of how beautiful my wife is. And even though my wife's beautiful without makeup, just like any other woman, when she puts on makeup, it enhances her. And it doesn't have to be full blown makeup. Maybe she puts on a little lip gloss, maybe she puts on a little eyeliner, and that's all she needs. Because maybe her skin is such that she takes care of it and that's what she does. So the whole time I'm with her, I'm telling my wife, take care of yourself, babe. And then she takes care of herself so that in the moments we need her to utilize her beauty, it's there. And just to put a little icing, see, because listen, cake tastes good without icing. Cake can taste good without icing. But icing on the cake make it taste sweeter. But when you get overboard and just to go to the store, you need to put makeup on to look good. Or just to run out casually somewhere with your husband, you have to put makeup on to look good. There's a deficiency in self-care because all women all women are beautiful in their own right. It's just that some take care of themselves and some don't. Some of them take care of themselves and they don't need makeup to make the occasional appearance. You can still see that they're beautiful. But some of them can't make an occasional appearance without makeup because they're just not they don't take care of themselves enough. So they are not attractive because they don't take care of themselves. And now they're more codependent on makeup. So like I said, you can't stop women from wearing makeup. But what I'm saying is like why do you need makeup all the time to cover all of the blemishes that you could be taken care of on a daily basis? Listen, everybody wants a crash diet so they can achieve fast results. But if you walked every day, if you just made up your mind, excuse me, if you made up your mind every day to go for a walk for an hour, just say, look, I'm going to go for an hour walk every day. You lose maybe a pound a week. It's 52 weeks in a year. What would 52 pounds loss on you look like? And here is the thing about losing weight fast and slow. When you lose weight really fast, your skin doesn't even get a chance to adapt to it. But when you lose weight slower, your skin gets to adjust to the changes. No differently than when a woman gets pregnant and has a baby. Her skin expands so much. But you'll notice that if everything goes well, she can get back to where she was, and she's aided with that if she's able to breastfeed. So it's just like nature designs things to be done a certain way, but it's just like, are you doing them the way of nature, or are you trying to speed up and do it chemically, or are you trying to speed up and do a shortcut? So that's what all of this is about. It's about when you earn something, that's to be respected. So when a man earns the ability to be able to have access to a lot of women and he exercises it, don't be upset. He earned the right to be able to do it. Now, just because you earn the choices doesn't mean you have to exercise every choice. Yes, men should have discipline. But if a man is in a position and he's not harming anybody and he want to exercise his choices, he earned the right. A man should be able to exercise whatever he earns. But a woman doesn't earn men. She don't earn men. She get men. She gets men, right? She get access to men naturally by being beautiful, by being attractive. So, because a man going out there and having intercourse is way more difficult than it is for a woman to go out there and have intercourse. And a woman doesn't even have to be gorgeous to have intercourse. A woman, she could be run down in the face, built like a weeble. If she wants to have sex, there are going to be men that do it. If she want to have intercourse, there are going to be men that'll do it. Because men don't even need you to look attractive to have intercourse. And I'm going to tell you why. You say, men will sleep with anything. Right. I'm going to tell you why. Because most men aren't having intercourse. Why do you think the pornography industry is such a lucrative and multi-billion dollar industry? It's because men can't have access to intercourse so easily. If it was easy for men to have intercourse, the porn industry would not be where it is. But men are visual. And when they can't get the tangible vision of a woman, they turn to a fantasy. And yeah, I'm sure men could close their eyes and say, but men don't want to close their eyes. They want it as real as it can possibly be. And if the closest they can get to real is on a screen, they opt for it. And even society vilifies them for that. And in some cases, I understand, in some semblance, I understand, but it's just like, do you understand why they're doing that? Now, I ain't talking about guys who who can simp to get it, who can trick to get it, who got the means to get it, and who got the access to get it. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about your everyday common man. Women ain't checking for him. Women ain't giving him no attention. So so when a woman has a high body count, we lose respect for her body to body. We lose respect for her because it's so easy to get. Why wouldn't she be selective? You get on men about having, when they have the privilege of choice, you get on men about not being selective and exercising all their options. Yet, when you, as a woman, exercise all your options, you don't want to be vilified for it the way you vilify a man for it. And here's what you find to be unfair. This guy has a lot of access to women, and it actually enhances his value, right? No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. If a man can get any woman that he wants, he's considered valuable. Whether you like the fact that he exercises those options or not, if he's getting access to a lot of women, he's got one or a combination of all of these things. He's got money, he's got clout, he's got game, he's got something going for him. And when a man has something going for him, that makes him attractive. That's why he's getting the attention. If a man pulls up in a foreign car, foreign cars are not easy to get. Women see a man with a foreign car, she says, he looked like he got something going for him. And even the worst of the worst women, when they see that, they start fantasizing about what he can do for them. So whether she's attracted to him or not, she'll go along with it to get close to him, to get access to him, whether it's good intentions or not. And he doesn't have to be, and if he's got clout or if he's got money, he doesn't have to be good looking. He don't. He doesn't have to have a good personality. He doesn't. And most of these men know that. So they don't even try to be nice. They don't even try to talk nice to a woman. Because they know that's not going to do much of anything from the access. But if a man knew that he would lose access to a woman by talking to her any kind of way, this, that, and the third, he'd shape up. But because it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter to him. If every woman drew a standard that said, in order for a man to get access to what he wants from me, he must do A, B, and C, men would do that. But when y'all make it so easy to say, all I got to do is fly you out, all I got to do, if a man who makes $50,000 a month, all he got to do is fly you out to an exotic location and he can get access to all of the poom poom he wants. He could take you away to Hawaii for a week and spend about 5, 6 grand. You'd be impressed. He'd blow your back out. And after he did all of that, you would, your guts would be pushed in. He's happy and he knows you're going to come back because he's saying to himself, how many dudes is she going to run across that make $50,000 a month? And you know what? If you don't run across dudes that make $50,000 a month and give you that treatment, you're going to keep coming back to him. He might talk to you cold crazy. And you know what? You're going to dust that off and you're going to keep coming back to him. You might be looking for something better or a better opportunity, but until you find it, you're going to keep coming back to him. And all he really, really wanted was access to the juice box. And you keep giving it to him because he keep giving you what you want. That's the issue with going transactional. And you don't have any leverage because you give your box to everybody. And he knows that. You give your box to anybody and everybody. He knows that. Well, when a woman, but when a woman comes along in his life and she provides something that he needs and that he wants, and she shows herself to be exclusive, little to no mileage, he knows that that's rare. So he's going to acquiesce to do some of those things because he knows that the perks and the benefits of being with you is worth it. But you females, you act like you're exclusive. You carry yourself like you're exclusive and you're rare. But what you provide and what you bring is so common. What do you bring to the table? I'm beautiful. That's a lot of beautiful women. I just told you. Y'all born with it. Y'all aren't made to do that. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about made? Yeah, y'all are going and getting these body enhancements and stuff like that, but it's good for the fun. But what you gonna look like when you get old with that? What's gonna happen when you got foreign objects and things in your body? How's that gonna work? Men see the big picture. Like how many big women do you know get old? How many big men you know get old? The people who live long are people who are healthy. So that's why telling you it's okay for you to be in an unhealthy state is not good. And it lets you know society don't care about you. I'm telling you, you need to lose weight. Society is telling you, girl, he being misogynistic, leave him alone, do you, big girls rule, big and beautiful, is so sexy. Okay. How many people do you know? And it's just an honest question. How many people do you know in their 80s and 90s who are big? I'll wait. And you say, yeah, but it's so hard to lose. It's so hard to lose. No, consistency. Make some better choices and just go for a walk. You don't have to go to the gym and do some high intensity stuff. That's quick results. If you're consistent and you're walking, let's just say you walk for an hour and let's just say you walk 10,000 steps every day. You go to your favorite place and you go for a walk. You put your headphones on. Most of the time, you're not going to sweat when you're walking unless it's extremely hot. If it's cool, you won't even sweat most of the time. So you don't even feel like you're working out. You're just walking. Maybe you're using that time to think, meditate, something that's good for you. And you do that for a year. You telling me you're going to be the same weight that you are 365 days from now? No, you're not. You're not. You're going to not look anything like you did. Trust me, I am living witness. I am 227 right now. I was 315. I did not go to the gym. I just walked for 1 hour every day. That's a fact. And that wasn't even me cutting out a lot of food and stuff that I wasn't supposed to eat. I was still eating snacks. I was still doing that. Imagine if I wasn't doing that. Well, now I'm a little tighter on my ship in terms of my diet because it's important. It's some things that's happening right now in the world that you ain't got no choice. Processed foods and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not made for you to be strong. It's just if you consistently did the things you were supposed to do on a day-to-day basis, you wouldn't have to hustle to do the things that you need to do to get the results that you need to get in your life. And that's in anything. When I go to the office every day, I don't go in there saying, I got to be a world beater no matter what the circumstances are. I just say, whatever's for me is for me. Whatever's not for me is not for me. I'm just going to go and I'm going to put one step ahead at a time every day and just be where I'm supposed to be and do what I'm supposed to do. And then I'll live with the results. Some days I go to the office and I make this, and some days I go to the office and I make that. Some days I go to the office and make nothing. But every day I must go. Every day that I'm supposed to go to the office, I must go to the office. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up right there. My final thoughts on this is stop skipping the steps. Ladies, get to know someone before you ask them for something that you're not qualified to ask. You're not qualified to ask a man for any money. Now, if he wants to take you out to dinner, that's fine. But you're not qualified to ask a man for any money unless you secure a place that he deems necessary for you to get access to anything, including monetaries, from him. Don't skip the steps. Yeah, ladies, if you're in a position right now where you don't want to get to know a man, then don't. But I am telling you, The older you get, the harder it's going to be. And the older you get, the more you're going to need. You need to be using your best years. Your window is 10 years. Now, some people say when you turn 18. I don't agree with that. I don't think that you should be in a relationship when you turn 18, 19, or 20. I think 21 is when you're really ready. So, fellas, leave these girls alone. That's 18, 19, and 20 because that's a crucial period of development for them that they need without the same veil that they had from 0 to 18. They need to use those 3 years to really, really find out about themselves. And ladies, if you want to get you an education or whatever the case may be, and you want to go to college, you can get a degree in 3 years if you focused. It doesn't have to take four. So if getting you a bachelor's degree is important and that's important to you, go ahead and do that. But what I'm saying is, or if you want to do that because that's going to put you in front of the best prospects, because other ethnicities of people, unlike us, they go and get their education, but also trying to secure the best possible mate that they can. It's only our women that's talking about being independent, talking about being a boss chick and stuff like that. It's our women only. Every other ethnicity, they don't have that problem. You might have anomalies, but you don't have that problem. They know they white women belong to white men. They don't have a problem belonging to white men. Asian, same thing. Um, Indians, same thing. Mexicans, same thing. So you see, they don't have a problem. The men don't have a problem claiming the women, and the women don't have a problem being claimed by their men, no matter what differences they have. As a whole, they don't have a problem with that. But in the brown community, in my community, women don't want to be claimed. They don't want to be claimed by a man. You don't claim me. You can't claim me. And then the men are starting to say they don't want to be claimed, so we're not going to. And that's wrong. All we got to look at is what's going on around us, and it tells us everything that we need to know. We just got to be willing to look around us. You do the best you can every day. When you find somebody, ladies, when you find a guy that you're interested in, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, it's a man's job to do it." No, women are the gatekeepers to letting you know if you can talk to them. So if a man, and you don't even have to go up to a woman and say anything. All you got to do is make eye contact with a woman and smile at a woman. And what she does when you do that will let you know if you have an invitation to speak to her. So, fellas, stop worrying about having game. You don't need game. All you need to do is be willing to make eye contact. If you have a problem making eye contact with women, that's telling you that you're not ready to be with a woman. And that's telling you you need to go and work on yourself because there's no way that you can have your stuff together and you not have the confidence to look at a woman. So if you having that problem looking at a woman, that means you got to go in the lab and you got to do the shadow work and work on yourself. Because like I said, if your if your health is right, if you know how to provide, you know how to protect, you got the means, and you have developed into a man, you're going to be walking in so much authority that you're going to be able to look right through a woman. So if you're able to look through a woman, then you can look to a woman. So if you can look to a woman and a woman looks at you and she gives you this what you're looking at, whatever the case may be, okay, that's fine. Just leave her alone. Don't say nothing to her. Trust me, in this day and age, you don't want to go up to a woman that don't want to talk to you because she'll have you going to jail for harassment. You understand? So don't chase these women. And look, the Bible even tells you whether you believe it or not, it's true. Chasing women will sap your energy. You don't need your energy sapped. You need somebody that's going to help your energy, not suck your energy up. You look at a woman, you look at a woman and you smile at her and she smiles back at you, then you have the invitation at that point to go speak to her. And when you go speak to her, you just say, "Hey, um, I saw you from across the way, and I just wanted to come over and I just wanted to tell you how beautiful you are. How are you? My name is blah, 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 blah. And you are? Is that game? No, that's just standard. But My late mentor, rest in peace, he always told me you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't. So you simps out there who use your game to get women, finding out what they want to hear still doesn't do in the big picture, in the grand schematics, it doesn't do you any good because you need authenticity. If you come with an unauthentic approach, then you can't expect authenticity. What you sowing is what you reaping. So you sowing fake, you're gonna reap fake. I thought when you came over me and you said that you was blah 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 blah. That's your problem right there. You should be able to go to the woman that you vibing with, and you should just be able to go and say hello. Just hello, hi. I wanted to come over and say something to you. You are beautiful. For the right woman with the right energy, with the right vibration and the right connection, that'll be all you need. I saved myself so much over the years by understanding that at a young age. Shout out to my brother Ben that helped me um, in so many ways in life, but he always told me, he was just like, yo, if you really don't want to get rejected, all you got to do is make eye contact and smile. If you make eye contact and smile, that's going to tell you if you have an invitation to speak. But just because you want to speak to a woman and you find out she doesn't want to speak to you, don't take that personal. She don't want to speak to you. And if you still in your head feel like, yeah, but if she got to know me, she would really, really like me. She would really, really love me. That's not your problem. That's her problem. She missed her blessing, not you. And that don't take away from how gorgeous she looks. She ain't for you. She for somebody else. If she was for you, the stars would have aligned. The energy would have been there. Excuse me, how are you? You know, my name is Leandre. It's a pleasure to meet you. So where are you from? Hey, look, I don't know if you are you busy? Okay, well, listen, I'd love to be able to catch up with you sometime. Let me get your number. Let's exchange numbers. That don't sound like game at all to me. And if somebody thinks that that's lame, if somebody thinks something as simplistic as an introduction, a compliment, and a request to speak to them again is lame, that person ain't right. Not for you. And I mean, I've had in my lifetime, I've had with my own eyes seen a woman give a guy a hard time because his game won't tight. And it's just like, but if that guy is ultimately going to be a blessing to your life, take you to places that you're trying to go, you blocked your blessing because you wanted to play games. You wanted to play games. So I'm telling you, if you're as a man, if you're afraid to make eye contact, and even as a woman, if a woman is afraid to make eye contact with you, I'm not necessarily saying that there's anything wrong with her. But if she's afraid to make eye contact with you and you feel, because it's women are handled different. If a woman is afraid to make eye contact with you and you feel there's something potentially there, yes, you can go over to her, but be very much so a gentleman and proceed with caution. And you can say to her, hey, how are you? Just saying, hey, how are you? From that, you're going to know if it's an invitation because she just might be shy. And you can go over and say, hey, listen, I was, I saw a couple of times when I was looking at you, you kind of looked down and everything like that. I really wasn't sure, but you seem like a vibe. You seem nice. And I just wanted to come over and introduce myself just to be sure, just to see what's up. Is that game? Nope. And then she says, well, yeah, I guess I'm a little shy. Da 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 da, blah, 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 blah. And then you go, I understand. Hi, my name's Leandre. And you are? And then you can make her feel comfortable. Hey, look, you can relax now. It's okay. I think you're beautiful. Really? Absolutely. I wouldn't be over here if I didn't. I don't know anything about you. But now that I know and we have established that you're beautiful, it makes me want to get to know a little bit more about you. You think maybe I could call you sometime? Yeah, that'll be great. Okay. All right. Here, put your number in my phone. You gonna give me your number? Yeah, yeah. As soon as I get your number, I'm gonna text you. All right, you got my text? Yeah. Okay. So what do you do for a living? Blah 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 blah. When's the best time to call you? Okay. All right, I'll give you a call tomorrow. See, some of y'all want to play games. I don't want to call them early, let them. No. Stop playing games. Be truthful. Say what it is. Keep it simple. You find out. Um, and a real lady will want to go through the process because she wants to be sure about some things too. It's these females out here that want to skip the process that you need to run from. They want to hurry up and get to what it is that they desire. And anybody that want to skip the process, they don't want to invest in getting to know you. Why would you even give them the time of the day? Man, it ain't nothing but trash out in these streets. Trash. So I'm just telling you, get that together, fellas. Ladies, get it together. Like we're not the enemy of each other. We're actually allies. We never had any problems with each other. We were tricked into thinking that we had problems with each other. We ain't a problem with each other. Us men want to be there for you, to protect you, to provide for you, to do the best that we can for you, and to give our lives for you. Well, we just got to know that you're down for us and that you're with us. We need to know that you ain't gonna pull the plug if we're on life if we're on the deathbed, unless we tell you to pull the plug. We want to know that if we fall down as men, that you're gonna have our backs. Even for men that don't mind taking on all of the financial responsibilities, we just want to know that if we hit a rough patch or we hit hard times, we can come to you and we can say, can you help me? So we want you to have some self-sufficiency. Even if we are making millions and millions and millions of dollars or whatever the case may be, we don't want you to sit back and not do anything. We want you to use the opportunity to see if you can be creative to either aid in us or to be able to put away a stash for us. We want to know that you got our backs. We want you to know you got our backs. And I know I'm closing, but I want to just read this to you, whether you believe in the Bible or not. It's very, very indicative of what is said um, in this particular scripture. I want to just read this to you, okay? This is Proverbs 31:10. It's talking about a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman is a real hard woman to find. So when we start talking about what you bring to the table, men are looking for something rare. Men are looking for something exclusive. Exclusivity and rarity, which is relatively the same thing, that's really hard to find. So when a man is saying, what do you bring to the table? Or a man is looking for a woman, he doesn't want the quintessential thing. He doesn't want the normality. He doesn't want the common. He wants something that's exclusive and that's rare. So let me just tell you some of these characteristics about what's rare, okay? It says, and I'm going to read from the scriptures, it says, who can find a capable wife? Her value far exceeds the finest jewels. Her husband has full confidence in her. As a result, he lacks nothing of value. She will bring good to him, never evil, every day of her life. Oh, let me break some of this down for you, okay? Her value far exceeds the finest jewels. That means that you can't just buy her. That's why I told you to stay away from that transactional stuff because you're making yourself buyable, if you will. Her husband has full confidence in her. Well, why would he have? How can a man have a confidence in a woman who will cheat on him, who ain't loyal to him, and will leave him? So that's his full confidence. And as a result, he lacks nothing of value. Because when a woman is there for him and has his back, she's going to she's going to amplify him. She will, okay, verse 12, it says she will bring good to him, never evil, every day of her life. So she's going to be conscientious about what she does to her husband, does to her man. And she's going to make sure she's not bringing drama to him, that she's not bringing troubles to his life. But on the opposite, she's going to make sure that she's making his life better and easier. She seeks out wool and flax, working with eager hands. She is like a seagoing ship that brings her food from far away. That means she will go to special lengths to make sure that he and what they have has the best. She rises while it's still night, preparing meals for her family and providing for her women servant. Okay, so we don't really have women service today, right? But she rises up early in the dark hours to make sure that everything that needs to be set for the day for him is set for the day for him. He doesn't have to ask. He doesn't have to ask if he needs to take his supplements. He doesn't have to ask if he likes coffee in the morning or he likes tea in the morning. He doesn't have to ask that. She's going to get on that. All right. Um, she evaluates a field and purchases it. From the proceeds, she plants a vineyard. Okay, so when we start talking about that, women are very detail oriented. So because they're very detail oriented, guess what? They are able to scan and see potential and promise with the tools and the resources that her husband goes out and get, and she's able to amplify him and her family. She clothes herself with fortitude and fortifies her arm with strength. Okay, she is confident that her profits are sufficient. Her lamp does not go out at night. That means she's moving and grooving while her family is resting. She's getting things together. And I'm not talking about late at night, I'm talking about the wee hours. She is confident that her profits are sufficient. Her lamp does not go out. I said that already. She works with her own hands on her clothes. Her hands work the sewing spindle. That means she is creating. She is creating for hers. She's creating for herself. Okay? She reaches out to the poor, opening her hands to those in need. She's a sweet woman. She's a giving woman. She's a good-hearted woman. And when she's building a reputation as being that, that reflects well on her man. She creates her own bedding using fine linen and violet cloth. Her husband is well known. He sits among the leaders of the land. One of the things that helped, look, look, I'm just using this as an example. Jay-Z was cool, but when Beyonce became his wife, he skyrocketed. He was able to get into doors that he couldn't get into before because of his street persona. But Beyonce allowed him to get through doors that he couldn't get through before. It's a teamwork, okay? She is unafraid of winter's effect on her household because all of them are warmly clothed. She creates her own bedding. She uses fine linen and violet cloth. Her husband is well known. He sits among the leaders of the land. She designs and sells linen garments, supplying accessories to clothers. Okay, this is an example. Whatever she's creating, she's selling. She's offering it. She's selling it. Not that that not look, not that her husband needs her to do a vineyard, not that her yeah, a vineyard, not that her husband needs her to sell clothes, but she also knows even though that's not her primary role, she still does it because it creates a surplus and an abundance for her and her family. Because as good as her husband might be at what he does and what he brings in, she knows that circumstances can come about, and if they come about, she got them. So I'm going to give you an example. If her husband makes $10,000 a month and she does things on a part-time basis and she makes $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. If he has a 10-year run Okay, if he has a 10-year run and then all of a sudden he has to voluntarily or involuntarily stop working for a period or permanent, and she had taken 12,000 times 10, which is 120,000. Now they got $120,000. Don't you think that that's a game saver if he can't make any more money and they got 12 in the and they got $120,000 put away? Or she took that money and she put it towards something that accrues interest and then she got something from that. Yeah, that's beautiful. That might be saving grace for this family. Strength and dignity are her garments, and she smiles about the future. Of course, she smiles about the future because she's protecting ill will from happening to her family in the event that something happens. Men are not robots. Men are people too. And we can fall short sometimes. So today's modern woman that wants to skip steps and stuff like that, she doesn't want to be down with a man when he's going through some trouble. You ask him, hey, look, if I'm up and all of a sudden I'm down one day, you gonna hold me down? Well, that should never happen because you should have your stuff together. Well, what do you mean? It might be something that I can't control. If the US dollar all of a sudden collapses and we go to a third world country, do you know even the richest folks are going to be poor? Everybody's going to be in a situation of being poor. But that person who has land, that person who has weapons, that person who has food from plants, livestock, if that's what they choose, if that person has all of those things in place, a house, land, a water well, this, that, and the other, that person is going to have a better chance of surviving than somebody who don't. Money is everything in a capital-based society, but it's nothing if the capital-based society collapses. So those are the things of a virtuous woman. And I know I said I was going to wrap up and I've been here for another 20 minutes, but that is what I'm going to say today. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure that at the bottom you like this video, you comment on this video, talk to me nice, you share this video, you subscribe to this channel, and make sure you hit the notification button. Now I'm going to try to make more and more videos and stuff like that. And if you vibing with me, let's roll. But if you're not, I understand. It might not be for you. I'm not for everybody. But I'm going to try to speak to power as much as I can. I'm going to be as transparent about things as much as I can. I'm going to be fair as best I can. And if you get those notifications, then when I drop a video, then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, I hope this video blesses you. And like I said, um, I enjoyed my time with you as always. And until the next time, peace.